My name is Sophie Mikkelsen and I represent SLM Consulting. I've been tasked with assisting Holst and Wendell with the presentation for the roundtable. As we agreed, I've not prepared a direct script. Instead, I have prepared a structure and keynotes. I've also prepared some tips on how to do this presentation that takes British culture into account and is mindful of the differences. Before I start with the actual roundtable, there are a few things you need to take into account. First of all, the British are very keen on keeping things very professional, and that includes the dress code. The dress code is always suit and tie, and preferably in black or grey colors. Second of all, when you meet them before the roundtable starts, expect a lot of small talk. Beware of the arm's length interaction. In British culture, it is expected to be friendly towards people you have just met, but that friendliness is not the same as being close. So, for example, when they ask you how you are expected to answer, I am fine, how are you? Or I am good, how are you? Also, the UK have a higher power distance than Denmark. You have to take an authoritarian role, even if this may seem a bit uncomfortable. Throughout the whole meeting, you should keep in mind that the British put diplomacy before directness. So you should do what you can to avoid anything that could create negative emotions. Another thing you need to keep in mind is the element of humor. In British business culture, humor is paramount in business settings. This is why you need to be careful. Especially Danish humor is very unique to Denmark and will in most cultures, including the UK, be perceived as being rude, crass, or tactless. So how do we handle this? One very popular sort of humor is understatements. So for example, if there's a hurricane, they may want to say, "It appears to be a bit windy." You should always keep this in mind. So for the first slide, you should talk about the elephant in the room, or in this case, the giraffe. They have of course heard about this. If they're to agree on your project proposal, you must address this matter. So you should talk about the reasoning behind the culling, the media pushback, the office for alternatives, and how you will respond to it. You should really explain why you didn't stop the culling after you got the attention. But, as mentioned before, it's important that you don't create a negative mood. So you should have some self-deprecating humor here. So what now? You have addressed the issues. Now you need to show that you have learned from these experiences. Address the consequences of the negative attention, how it threatened your image, and how you'll recover from this. The UK have a very high degree of uncertainty avoidance, and they're long-term oriented. This means that they are very success-driven, and you need to speak to their performance ambition. So now you have successfully done damage control. It's time to propose the project that is the real reason they're here. Start with the purpose of the collaboration, then how it should work, then finish up by thanking all of them for listening. And now you should be all set for the roundtable.